All right, today I was a guest on a podcast, and the host asked me a really interesting question that I wanted to address here. The question was, if someone walked up to you and said, "Hey, I just started a new blog. I don't have a lot of money, but I want to grow this blog. What would you do?" And I thought it was a really interesting question because it's a problem a lot of people have, right? You don't have necessarily a lot of money to spend to promote it, maybe a couple $100. So, one, how do you make those couple hundreds of dollars go as far as they can go? And then two, how can you also generate a little bit of free traffic? All right, so you've got traffic coming from both sides. So today I want to answer that. How would I build up a blog or a podcast or a YouTube channel with $300 and no following? Okay, so to build up this blog, whatever, this media channel, this social channel, I'm thinking in two parts. One, the first part is content creation. Two is traffic generation. So content creation, traffic generation. So those are the two kind of pieces of the puzzle we have to figure out, because you have to actually create relevant, helpful content, and then you have to bring people to that content. But remember, we're working on kind of a limited budget. It's a lot easier to generate traffic if you have $1 million versus if you have $1, right? So let's talk about the first step, which is content creation. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my niche. And let's say I picked the running niche. Or I don't know anything really about running. I'm not a runner myself. But let's say I picked the running niche and I wanted to create a blog on running. All right, this could be anything. The first thing I'm going to do is use a tool like answerthepublic.com or my favorite KW Finder, Keyword Finder from Mangools, or even the Google Keyword Planner tool. And I'm going to try and find either questions or search terms or search phrases that people in the running industry are asking. All right. Now that's just part one of good keyword research. The second one is finding questions that people are asking or phrases people are searching for that don't have a lot of competition but have a little bit more volume. I'll tell you a story. I was trying to build up my wedding blog. I've talked about this before, and I happened to write an article that talked about that was listing the top 10 country music wedding songs, and number one happened to be this George Strait song. All of a sudden I started getting all this traffic to my website, and when I checked my analytics I realized they were all coming to that article that talked about George Strait. And I was actually ranking number one for George Strait wedding songs. Now that was getting searched about 800 to 900 times a month, and there was no competition whatsoever, so I was able to accidentally rank number one for that search term in like a week or two, okay? So the point of that story is you need to go on and find key terms, key phrases, questions that are getting asked a lot but that a lot of people aren't answering, right? So you probably couldn't really rank successfully for a blog post like how to train for a marathon because it's probably been done a lot and there are probably huge running blogs that have already covered that. But let's say you wanted to go a little bit deeper. So maybe you found that people were asking, how do you pick the right shoes to train for a marathon? And that might be getting searched 1,000 times a month, 2,000, 3,000, but no one's really written about it yet. So you could rank a lot easier in the first 1 to 2 results on the Google search results pages, okay? So that takes a little bit of digging, that takes some time, but that's what you need to do. First thing is first, because you can drive all the traffic you want to your website, but if you're driving traffic to things that people aren't really asking, don't really care about, all your work is for naught, right? All right. So the first thing you need to do is find 5 to 10 key phrases, key terms, questions that are getting asked a lot with low competition, all right? So that's the first thing. The second thing that you need to do is to create content around those questions or phrases. So you can make videos, you can write blog posts, anything you want to do that is just answering the question or the key phrase that you have found and providing a quick solution that the reader can take away and be like, I can put that into action right now. What you're doing is you're solving a mini problem in a greater macrocosm of the running niche, right? And so people are going to get that and they're going to be like, that was really informative. And then either they'll follow you, they'll share the article, and it will grow, okay? So you're creating 5 to 10 pieces of content as good as you can, all right? This is probably not going to be the top content in the game because you're new, and that's fine. Don't compare yourself to people that have been doing it for a long time. But you want to create 5 to 10 pieces. Why 5 to 10? Well, the main reason is you don't want people to come to your blog and you've just got one post, but other than that, it looks like the creepy elephant graveyard from The Lion King where the hyenas are looking over the tusks and Scar's up there singing Be Prepared and all that junk, all right? It's weird. You don't want to be the only blog post on a post. It's like being a dentist with one tooth, all right? So create 5 to 10 pieces of content. So there is step 1, which is content creation. Let's go into step 2, which is traffic generation. So as we know, our preferred traffic strategy is to take our best 2 resources, and that's one in a paid category, and that is one in a free category. Okay, so when I'm thinking of generating traffic, I'm going to first look at the free category. So if I want to get word out about a blog really quickly, I'm going to be reaching out to relevant and kind of mid-tier, right, podcasts or YouTube channels or bloggers. The reason you reach out to mid-tier ones is because the ones that are getting a lot of traffic probably get hit up all the time. The low ones might not have any traffic that might be beneficial to you, okay? They might not have much more traffic than you're getting. So you want to reach out to those mid-tier YouTube channels, blog posts. These are people that need content, that need contributors, but have also grown and picked up a little bit of momentum so that the traffic spike you see from either co-collaborating with them or appearing on their channel and dishing out helpful advice on, in this case, the running niche, will move the needle a little bit in your analytics. So most of the time, if I'm starting a new site or a new business, new blog, whatever, I'm trying to get on those mid-level podcasts, mid-level YouTube channels, just any sort of mid-level PR I can get to try and boost traffic as quickly as I can. Now let's look at paid. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that paid traffic is a totally custom case-by-case scenario, right? So I'm not just going to sit here and say, do Facebook ads. I'm not going to sit here and say, do Reddit ads, or do Twitter ads, or do a billboard, or whatever, okay? Like, your business is very different. I will say this, though. If you have $300, and that's it, or $200, $500, or whatever, if you have kind of a small budget for advertising, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to spread that budget around. So let's say if we're dealing with $300, I might put $60 in 5 different social media or paid advertising sources, and you're just testing. So you might do $60 in, and you can pick any number, I just pulled that out of the air. You could do $60 in Instagram or Facebook, you could do $60 in Reddit ads, YouTube ads, AdWords, and you're just testing. Now that's not a complete loss, all right? Because you might say, well shoot, what if none of them work? The odds are 99% of the time you're going to find some sort of traffic channel that works a little bit better than the others. So maybe you spend 60 on each one and you say, well hey, looking at my analytics, I'm seeing that Google AdWords is actually bringing in 200 leads, 200 clicks from this $50, whereas maybe my Facebook ad is bringing in 10. So by doing this, you have kind of tested the waters and you know what might be best for bringing in traffic to your blog, and then you can go deep on that channel. Remember, we don't want to go wide, especially when we're first starting. We want to find an avenue or a resource that works and then go deep. We want to learn the little tips, tricks, nooks, and crannies of that paid traffic source and go deep. So to recap, I know that might have been a lot, but if I was going to grow a blog quickly as I could, with $300 to $500 and no traffic, first thing you want to do is create the best content you can, 5 to 10 pieces on search terms or questions that are getting asked a lot with low competition. Then the second thing you want to do is spread out your budget evenly in the paid traffic to find out what's working and then also collaborate with those mid-tier social media channels to try and get free organic traffic that way. Hopefully that helped. If it did, please subscribe to the channel. I would love to continue to help you. I put out videos all the time to help grow your business and help try and narrow down your marketing strategies so that you can find out what works for your business. I'm Brandon Stiles. I'm a digital marketer out of Atlanta, and I'll see you next time.